Hello, welcome back to another Friday update from Life by You. I'm covering every update from this game on a weekly basis, so if you're interested in that, make sure you stay tuned because today we're going to be talking about their most recent post and video, which is talking about quest creation. So you can make your own quests and there will be quests around the town, I guess. So that's kind of interesting. That's really appealing to me as someone who likes story games and games that have quests like MMOs. So I'm very excited to see that being integrated into this game, and we'll see how they're gonna do it in this video. So stay tuned, let's watch it together. And it is just a 9-minute video, so nothing too crazy. Grab your Starbucks. I got my first peppermint mocha of the season. Very happy about that. All right, let's go.
Hi everyone, it's Community Manager Rocio
Hello.
here, and today I want to talk to you about quests. You might have seen them off to the left while we're doing other videos.
Yeah.
Today we're specifically talking about editing and adding quests, so this is what it would look like in-game. Good luck on your fitness journey, Tracy. Without further ado, let's dive right in. We're back in the editor tools here,
okay.
and let's go ahead and get started.
This could be overwhelming, but I like that they're showing you it now, so you can kind of get used to
button. Now that
being
we're
able to
here,
work on the back end of stuff if you want. You don't have to do any of this. You may know some in progress and behind the scenes quests
as an example.
Well, some of it may not be available at start of early access. We want to show you what we're working on now and into early access.
I now have a new quest. Here you can see what a blank quest looks like.
Okay.
And for the sake of example, I'm just going to call this Make a Quest. That's going to be our quest. I'm going to go ahead and type that in the left-hand section here as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and add a tag to this quest. So this is a way that we can reference it later. If you see here the Meet Someone New quest, the tag is Meet Someone New. So I'm going to go ahead and title this tag just Make a Quest. Okay. Now we decide if we want to make this a timed quest or not.
Oh, you
can time it. So if you make it a timed quest, basically you're adding a time limit to this quest. For example, let's just say we're adding 2 hours, so 120 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can, of course, just uncheck it entirely and have the quest never expire. And this checkbox here for all steps optional, we usually handle this at an individual level for each of the steps, so I'll show you how we do that when we get to the steps section. Next, let me tell you about editing the rewards of a quest. So here you can see on the right-hand side all of the options for rewards.
You can get
we have
currency,
some basic ones like currency and experience, which you might be familiar with. So let's just go ahead and add some of that. There's job promotion. Basically, will you be promoted to the next level of that job? As well as adding and removing traits.
Awesome.
Clicking add trait here as an example. Let's say I want this quest to make someone flirtatious upon completing it. I can go ahead and do that. You can also have it remove traits. So for example, if you'd like to remove a temporary trait or a background trait,
or what if you were like anxious and then you have a quest
you'll see
to like
grant skill experience, and basically
here
you can pick a skill and depending on the quest you can have it contribute to that skill when you finish
and
it.
have confidence.
So let's
instead.
Pretend we're adding 20 experience to academics upon completing this. And if I change my mind, it's very easy to just click the minus button, remove that, and pick something else. Let's go ahead and go with creativity.
Nice.
Mostly because I'm being so creative in whatever this quest is turning out to be.
Totally.
Now you can actually add items to the rewards. And you can pick multiple items. So let's just pick some of the ones at the top of this list. Archaeology. So let's say I didn't want this to be the only item in the reward pool. I'm going to make that 50% and add a second item, a teapot, and make that one 50% as well. So basically what this is saying is you're earning one item reward from this quest, and you have a 50% chance for either item. You can increase the number of item rewards for the quest, as well as add more items to the item pool if you'd like it to be a little bit more random. So now let's go down to the bottom where it says change relationship with quest giver. One thing we're actually working on right now is adding some quests that can be given to you by other humans within the town. So for example, you complete a quest for someone and then it increases your chemistry, your friendliness, your romantic relationship with them.
Yeah, and if you bring someone flowers, it should increase the
as well as some of our conversation systems with one of our game designers in a future video.
Interesting.
Moving on to this player only checkbox, this is used so that only you, the player, can complete the quest. A random NPC that you're not controlling won't do it without you.
Okay. Cool.
Next on this screen, you'll see on start, on completed, and on
this
failed.
Could be so
We're actually going to start with on
ideas.
failed first. So let's just say you did not complete this quest in time.
I want to make quests.
This is something that might pop up if you're late to your job or you're just not making it to an event. So here you can add a couple of things, including interactions. You can add items, all kinds of stuff. We're going to use something simple here. Let's add a trait when you fail this.
Shopping cart.
And all you have to do to add a trait is click on this and drag it over. Here you see we have a couple options for a recipient for this trait, but let's say it's the person who failed this quest. I'm going to make them embarrassed. So I'm going to search for embarrassed and add it as the trait. I'm going to go ahead and leave the origin at the default because I don't want to do anything special here, but I also wanted to show off the rest of this page.
This is so
Chris,
cool.
who you might remember from our art video, has recently done an overhaul on this page. So hopefully this looks spiffy and nice for when modders get their hands on it. So now we've added something for on failure. Let's add something for on start.
Because they make it easy.
So like I mentioned, there are a ton of different options here. Let's pretend that this quest adds an item to your inventory when you start it. Let's say that I want this quest to brighten your day with a flower when you start it. I'm going to add a poppy to your inventory when you start this quest. And the caption will just be,
here, hope this
helps.
Aww.
And I think that's more than enough for on start. So let's go to on completed.
Okay.
Uncompleted has all of the same commands that the previous two have, but we're already giving a bunch of rewards, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that one blank.
Okay.
Next up is steps for our quest. So I'm going to just add a bunch of steps to start with, and we'll work from there. So I'm going to just put placeholder here again. This is an example quest. So I'm just going to say start making quest. And the goal will be to travel to home. You can go here and filter through different commands and pick a lot that makes sense for your quest. You can also time these individual steps.
Kind of like that.
Let's say I wanted to time this to 20
what it would look like in the back end of that type of stuff, but
you can also check each one individually for optional or not optional.
And that's cool.
Similarly, you can do this with NPC only versus player only. You can also have these unlocked by previous steps. And you can add things to on completed and on failed of these individual steps.
Nice.
So that's just step one. Let's say we continue doing this for each of our 5 steps that I've added. For the second one, it'll just be step 2. And let's go ahead and make this one leaving the lot because we're done being home now. Okay. Moving on to the next step, I'm just going to title this one step 3, similar to the last one. And here we can go ahead and let's say I want them to reach a certain skill level. So you can go ahead and pick a skill. I'll say academics.
Leave the house, take a photograph.
Earlier, and then input the required
level. Leave the house, touch grass.
And next up will be step 4 to making a quest. I'm not very creative with my placeholder names. And we're going to go ahead and say this one's going to be performing a specific interaction.
I have so many
here
ideas
you would
already.
just type in the interaction you'd
Can't
like
wait to get my hands
and
on this
any
still.
specific tags if you want a broader interaction like athletic. And for our final step, last but not least, let's just say finish the quest. And looking at my options here, I'm going to say reach a total amount of money and just make it a nice even 10,000. And that's pretty much it for these steps. So as you can see, here we have 5 steps. Once you've completed these 5 steps, you get the rewards for the quest.
Nice.
But let's say you want to remove quest steps, you can easily just minus them out. You can also change their order using these little arrows.
It's pretty intuitive.
Before we go, I wanted to walk you through a couple of examples.
One that's already
I started you here on the yoga class event. You can see the rough steps to a yoga class. Go to the Lotus Gym, change into your workout clothing, warm up, practice your yoga poses, and finish out with a meditation.
What's the rewards for these?
So this is an example of a quest you might get multiple times because, you're going to the gym repeatedly. Now let me show you an example of a quest that you might have already seen in some of our previous videos.
Introduce yourself.
And if not, you might remember it from earlier in this video. But hopefully, now that you know what all of these fields do, you might understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So this is just one of our introductory quests. It's basically, you first started the game, go ahead and connect with your neighbors, introduce yourself to someone new. Here we have the goal to be a specific action, and that action is introduce.
Okay.
And once you've completed that step, you've completed this quest. So on completion, you can see that it gives you a new quest. It's Give Quest Laptop Tutorial. So that was on completed, but under rewards, you do receive experience. And that's in addition to the fact that you got to meet someone new, which is kind of its own reward.
Experience.
And as
and
you
then
might
it gives
be
you
able to
another
see
quest. So
from
it's
the
like
side
a
over here,
tutorial.
quests work
You
in
can
all
kind of guide
kinds of
people
ways. They
through
work
a
for
story
relationships,
or
they work for
through
skills, they
living
work at
a
introducing
certain
you
way.
to aspects of
That's
the
great.
world. So we're really excited to show you more of these quests in the future. And that's it for adding and editing quests. Thank you so much for joining us.
Live edit.
Please feel free to leave all of your comments and questions below, and have a great weekend.
All right, well, that's that. Short, sweet, to the point. I think they showed us a lot of back-end stuff, as they tend to do, and every time I see it, I'm more and more excited to actually play with it myself, because this is really cool. This system, and being able to customize it without having to, like, figure it out on the side and mod it and add your own stuff and do all the coding, like, it's already in the game. How cool is that? So this will make, oh my god, I gotta start writing quests. Like, I gotta think about, like, whole concepts. How to become a certain type of person. You can create your own quests to do that, and then, like, have other people in your world be able to use them. There's so much potential with this. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm sorry if you're not as excited as I am, but every week they just keep showing more and more and more, and I'm glad they took the time to step back and give us, you know, a little bit longer of a wait, but also give us more information. So then once we get our hands on the game, we'll feel more prepared to handle all this stuff and it won't seem as overwhelming. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff to look at and think about, but they've really made it pretty user-friendly. So I think even basic knowledge, you know, people who play games should be able to pick up some of this stuff. Maybe you won't understand it all the way, but you can probably make your own little quests here and there for, you know, certain special occasions or whatever you're doing in your game. Life by you, right? This game is by you. It's living up to the name for sure. So I think that's all we got to really show today. If you have any ideas for, like, quest ideas or things that you'd want to see more of from this type of feature, leave a comment on my video or on their tweets. I'll link it in the description below. It seems like they are listening to feedback as usual, so go ahead and give your feedback so that they can improve and we can get a better game in the end. So yeah, I'm so excited. Hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you next Friday. All right, have a good one. Bye!